And I'm Dawn Hasbrook. More controversy in Dalton. This time, it involves a well-known activist.
Tonight, our Dane Placco off the top with the bombshell details in a brand new lawsuit.
Andrew Holmes has been a familiar face in Chicago for years, well known for his work as a community activist helping crime victims and police. But now Holmes is being accused of a crime himself, sexual assault, in a civil lawsuit filed by a former employee of the village of Dalton and a Dalton police officer. In addition to his work as a community activist, Holmes serves as a trustee for the village of Dalton. The civil lawsuit against the village of Dalton, Thornton Township, Tiffany Henyard, and Holmes himself alleges that Holmes sexually assaulted a Dalton village employee who we're not naming because of the nature of the alleged crime, while on a village business trip to Las Vegas in May of 2023. According to the lawsuit, the employee had drinks with Holmes, whom she thought of as an uncle, began to feel disoriented, then passed out in Holmes' hotel room. The lawsuit alleges Holmes then called Dalton police officer Byron Miles, who was on the trip as part of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's security detail. According to the lawsuit, quote, Holmes began describing a host of his exploits from the trip, many of a sexual nature, to Officer Miles. At some point during his rant, Trustee Holmes made reference to him engaging in sexual activities with a Dalton Thornton employee, and there was some suggestion that the employee may not have had the ability to consent and or did not provide consent. The lawsuit says Henyard then advised the employee that if the information got out, Henyard would be ruined, and all of the work she had done would be lost. Despite assurances that Henyard and then Henyard's boyfriend would handle the situation, the lawsuit alleges the female employee was eventually fired by the village of Dalton. Officer Miles still works for Dalton, but alleges his duties were diminished and he faced retaliation at work.
Meanwhile,
we're here to help each other, not hurt each other. And it's a shame that us, I'm talking to my black and brown communities, will sit here and fight.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have to go back out to Wakanda, okay? Because Wakanda does not seem to be the technological and advanced society that they told us that Wakanda would be, okay? And what I mean by Wakanda is no other than Thornton, Illinois, or Dalton, Illinois. Thornton is the township. I think that's the broader area, okay? We got to talk about Ghetto Mayor / Ghetto Thornton Township manager Tiffany Henyard, who is facing a lot of backlash for various reasons: mismanaging funds, funneling taxpayer dollars into her charity that is clearly and obviously being run by her. Now you have this allegation of sexual misconduct done by one of her employees against another employee, and allegations that she fired that employee who was a victim of the misconduct because Tiffany Henyard thought that it would look bad. Okay, it would not make her look good. It's something that would further damage her already pretty bad reputation. And yeah, you know, the citizens of Thornton / Dalton have had enough, okay? They're fed up. The residents are fed up with their town, their village, being the clown show of this country, okay? You have local news and even national news now covering the issues of this township. And basically, people are sick and tired of the excuses from Tiffany Henyard. And in a recent meeting where they're expressing their dissatisfaction and demanding answers from Tiffany Henyard, she's going to pull the race card as a way to try to deflect criticism, and the residents aren't going to have it, right? She's going to get booed into oblivion for trying to pull the race card during this meeting on her so-called black and brown community, right? It's pretty hilarious how that works. A Democrat reaches in their bag of tricks, okay, to deflect criticism by pulling the race card, and it got rejected real quick, right? So without further ado, let's actually play this clip.
My comment is public comment.
Grasping a gold microphone, Tiffany Henyard faced questions she, for the most part, refused to answer.
When you don't answer questions, there's something to hide.
No, Madam Supervisor, we are not brainwashed. We are fed up.
Henyard is under siege in both of the public offices she holds, Thornton Township Supervisor and Dalton Mayor. The most recent controversy involves a taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas, in which a Dalton trustee is accused of sexual misconduct against a village employee. The woman claims in a lawsuit she and a member of Henyard's security detail, who was also on the trip, faced retaliation after reporting it to Henyard. They claim she responded by saying if the information got out, Henyard would be ruined and all the work she had done would be lost.
As a black woman, I want to see you protect black women. And I haven't seen that, Tiffany, since you've been in office, even in Dalton. And I understand.
You know, I love the woke card being pulled against Tiffany Henyard, right? Because again, you know, a lot of these so-called protect black women people, they don't really believe in protecting black women because they believe in protecting black women. They want to be tough old cry. Okay. And in a situation like that, where you have Me Too allegations, you have a woman, Tiffany Henyard, who happens to be black, who probably, you know, in any other circumstance that benefits her would be out here talking about how, oh, you know, I'm a black woman and how black women need to be protected. She is refusing to protect a black woman who allegedly was the victim of an assault. In fact, not only is she not protecting her, she's actually participating in the attack against her because she essentially fired the woman for speaking out because she didn't want it to make her look bad. Okay. So, you know, this story is wild. Okay. It is extremely, extremely, extremely frustrating in the sense that I do want the best for these people. But at the same time, I always have to fall back on, well, it was pretty obvious that this woman wasn't qualified to be in this position, and these people voted for it anyways. So, you know, I personally believe that you have to have liberals, okay? You have to have people suffer the consequences of their vote in order for them to actually understand that, hey, there are consequences that comes along with this, how painful it is to deal with this type of stuff. So I look at it as a growing pain, right? That's the way I look at it. Hopefully, in the future, when the next election comes up, these people decide to make a better choice, right? We'll see. Chicago didn't do that with Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson, but, you know, we'll see. I got some hope,
Let's not talk about an investigation while I was pending, but it wasn't pending until it was exposed. And she had to do it herself because you betrayed her.
WGN Investigates reported earlier this year Henyard and her allies in the township racked up more than $67,000 on travel in a several-month period last year. Many of the flights were first class. So were the accommodations. Henyard has never fully explained the spending and continues to say she's the victim of vicious opponents and racism.
We're here to help each other, not hurt each other. And it's a shame that us, I'm talking to my black and brown communities, will sit here and fight.
Henyard had...
Oh my God, I love that. I absolutely love that. Nothing warms my heart than seeing so-called black and brown people reject the woke nonsense, right? You're seeing how it is now being weaponized in 2024 to deflect criticism. That is what it's always been about. It's always been about deflecting criticism. They will even use it against other so-called black and brown people to say, well, if you're white and you're attacking a so-called black and brown person, then that person's racist, okay? Ignore the allegations, ignore the substance of the attacks or the arguments. That's racist, right? So when it's a so-called black and brown person attacking another black and brown person, either they aren't actually black and brown or they're selling out their own community, right? Because you're not supposed to attack another black or brown person, even if that black or brown person is hurting you, even if they're running your city into the ground, even if they're using taxpayer dollars for corrupt reasons, okay? Even if they're doing all these things to hurt you, no, you can't call that person out because they're black and they're brown, right? You're on the same team. I am so happy that people are finally understanding how the so-called black and brown, aka the race card, is used to deflect criticism. It's not used as a means of actually calling out real instances of hate and bigotry, which are few and far between. It quite simply is just used to deflect criticism. Don't criticize me, okay, because of my skin color. Because of my skin color, I cannot be held responsible for anything, right? I cannot be criticized. By definition, everything that I do, everything that I say is right in virtue of the fact that I am black and brown and I have a vagina, okay? That is what it is. That's what it is. And I'm glad that these residents aren't falling for it anymore, okay? They aren't falling for it anymore. The next step is when the election season comes around to realize that, hey, a candidate's qualifications have nothing to do with race or sex, okay? Do not go out here and vote for people because they say, hey, I'm a black woman, right? Don't do that, okay? Take race and sex out of your thought process when you go and vote for somebody. That is the next step. And eventually, this township / city will find themselves back on the right track, okay? But we'll see. We'll see.
Several supporters in the crowd, including anti-violence advocate Tio Hardiman, who offered himself up as a mediator.
This baby has not been charged with anything. Be ready to throw the baby away with the bathwater.
We've learned federal investigators have been sniffing around the South Suburban government's Henyard runs for months. The Illinois Attorney General has also found Henyard's staff is violating open records laws by refusing to turn over financial records requested by WGN Investigates and others. It's unclear whether further action by the state AG or the feds is imminent.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that some action is imminent. I mean, all of these allegations against this woman, some got to stick, right? That's just too many. Eventually, something's going to stick and she's going to get nailed. The question is it going to be before re-election time, right? That's what the real question is, okay? So with that being said, what doesn't give me much hope, right, in the future of the city is the fact that Lori Lightfoot, who is a corrupt mayor, a former mayor of Chicago, has been hired to investigate corrupt mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard, right? So I reported on this before, okay, that this was a possibility, and now it's official, right? So let's learn about what's happening with the trustees that are revolting against Tiffany Henyard hiring Lori Lightfoot to come in and help them. I don't think that this is going to do much of anything, but they seem to be very desperate.
New tonight at 10, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is taking on a new role.
She's been tasked with investigating possible financial misconduct by an embattled South Suburban mayor.
CBS 2's Maribel Gonzalez is live in Dalton for us tonight, where Lightfoot accepted this job a few hours ago. Maribel?
Yeah, Joe and Erica, Lightfoot was present at tonight's special meeting. Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard was not. Lightfoot says she is committed to getting down to the facts, and the Board of Trustees points to her experience as a federal prosecutor and private attorney to get the job done. A standing ovation Monday night from Dalton residents as former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot accepts her appointment as special investigator.
The residents of Dalton deserve nothing less than a government that is fully accountable, responsive, transparent, and effective stewards of your precious tax dollars.
The village board retaining Lightfoot at a rate of $400 an hour to investigate Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard on allegations of misuse of village money, claims Henyard has repeatedly denied.
We have low-key, I can't help but to think that hiring Lori Lightfoot is also a misuse of taxpayer money. $400 an hour. $400 an hour. You know what I think, guys? And this is an out there prediction. This is a wild prediction. But I think this is going to happen. Okay? Because Thornton Township, okay, let's take away the new kind of resolution or ordinance that was passed to basically lower the salary of the new mayor. But this job, this woman is getting paid to be the supervisor of Thornton and the mayor of Dalton. She's getting paid, what, $250,000, $300,000 a year? I feel like Lori Lightfoot is probably looking at this job and licking her chops. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are looking at this job. And they're saying, I can get paid more than the governor. Right? I can get paid more than the attorney general. I can get a bag. I can get a big bag being the mayor of Dalton and the supervisor of Thornton Township. Clearly, these people just allow, people like Tiffany Henyard to just come in and take over and to, get paid this massive amount of money. I mean, her predecessor got paid a massive amount of money as well, too. So I think that you have politicians that are licking their chops to come in and take down this woman, to overthrow this woman and to get this job. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lori Lightfoot tries to run for office in this area. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. And this could be a part of her campaign. She's going to come in and fix it. Even though she's not going to do anything but write a report. I don't think it has any legal weight or any legal authority. She's just going to say, well, I think she's corrupt, or I don't think she's corrupt. Like, that's what she's going to do. I'm not sure exactly what the point of this is. I think it's more about I think networking and establishing that connection with Lori Lightfoot that could potentially benefit her in the future, right? I think it's all about political connections at this point. And I mean, you know, for as much as I don't like Lori Lightfoot, there's no doubt she's a power player. I mean, you have to be a power player in order to become the mayor of Chicago.
Have tried lawsuits. All it has done is rack up more attorney's fees. Hiring Mayor Lightfoot to do a prompt investigation will lead the board to where they need to go as to the next step.
We feel this option will give us an independent process.
Among other accusations made by the village trustees, that Henyard has allegedly overpaid some vendors and hired contractors without board approval.
And we now $7 million plus in debt. We're bleeding right now. And bleeding leads to death. And this is death of a community.
Lightfoot will also be tasked with investigating claims of sexual misconduct that allegedly occurred during a trip to Las Vegas in May of last year, reportedly paid for in part with village funds. A former Dalton employee is accusing a board trustee of the assault.
Motion passed.
Monday night, the board also overriding Mayor Henyard's veto during a March meeting of a resolution to investigate her spending. Now, some Dalton residents question the hefty price tag that could come with appointing Lightfoot. The board says that it will reevaluate her work and check in with residents at the $30,000 mark. Lightfoot is expected to start her investigation as soon as tomorrow.
Yeah, so easy bag, right? Easy bag for Lori Lightfoot, okay? Easy bag. I don't think anything's going to come out of this, right? I personally think that they're just going to have to vote this woman out of office before anything actually comes of this situation. I mean, the feds seem to be moving slow. The attorney general, moving slow. Maybe they're building a case, okay? I'm just saying, I don't know, okay? But I don't think that this move is going to move the needle except for Lori Lightfoot's political career, which, again, like I said, this township, this city, it seems like it is ripe for the picking, okay, when it comes to some power player moving in and taking over and then, again, getting a big bag, right? Which I think is kind of what's going on here, but I could be wrong. I'm just making an out there prediction that don't be surprised if Lori Lightfoot all of a sudden is running against Tiffany Henyard. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.